Little Red Schoolhouse.
We love the Little Red Schoolhouse.
The old District 10 schoolhouse, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is celebrating its centennial this year.
Yes.
1912. Happy birthday. And we just fell in love with the Little Red Schoolhouse. And we just think it's a charming building, and it's a really, we would love to see it be preserved because it's such an important part of our state and this area's educational heritage. And the state of Ohio was founded with very strong roots to education. Even still when we were just a territory, it was written into the ordinance that public schools were to be established here. So as long as Ohio has been even a territory, there have always been public schools. And it's only 100 years old, which is not terribly old in relation to the rest of the state, but you know, it's still a really good example of a small rural country schoolhouse, and we just think it's absolutely adorable. And we really would love to join you in your preservation efforts. So
yeah, we were really saddened to see the disrepair and just walking around and you can see pieces of the slate shingles all over the grass, and you can see the moisture damage along the foundation, and even the sign itself looked like it was in disrepair, like a marker. It looked like all the gold was brushed, you know, off, wearing off of it, and it was crooked. It's really sad. We think it's a very beautiful, attractive building. It grabbed our attention from the road. It wasn't even a destination for us. We saw this the same day we were driving around, and we documented Coe Lake and Walton Wallace, and this grabbed our eye from the street. Oh, we have to see this. We'd love to see it get preserved and be used for something.
Woodvale. It's a little intimidating talking about Woodvale with the director in the room. I actually didn't know that Woodvale had a historic marker, nor did I know that the whole back half was so old and so historic. So this was a really nice surprise, a very nice surprise for us. But it's a lovely cemetery. You've done a very lovely job. But it definitely has a very unique assortment of headstones and grave markers, which we liked. But it's also full of history from this area. A lot of the early pioneers, John Baldwin, James Wallace, are buried in the cemetery. That's one of my favorites. And it's just a
sandstone.
What's that?
That's solid sandstone.
Is it really? I love it.
And that vault is the sandstone
As well.
from the 1850s.
Wow. See, we're learning something today.
That was one of my favorite gravestones I've ever seen. I thought that was really neat.
That's symbolic of a life cut short.
Oh,
really?
I wondered.
Wow.
It's beautiful. And here's some of the Baldwin family
Interesting, back that same cornerstone we saw,
on the library in the previous slide.
same thing.
And John Baldwin of Baldwin Wallace College. It was hard not to include every single cemetery that we've been to. There are a ton of cemeteries in the area that are historic. So we kind of just picked one. So we decided this one's in Middleburg, so we'll talk about stick to Middleburg. But we've been to Butternut Ridge in North Olmsted. We've been to Chestnut Grove, the new and the old in Olmsted Falls. There are two. We've been to a lot. There's so many, and it's a great place to learn history. Okay, so we're moving a little further south. We're going to be heading into Medina County, into Brunswick. And we stopped and explored Heritage Farm in Brunswick on Laurel Road. And Heritage Farm is it's an example of a typical Western Reserve farmhouse, or I should say farmstead, complete with the corn crib, the privy, the house, the barn. It's fully preserved. The outbuildings are fully preserved, and it was being it was being operated by the Brunswick Historic Society, but it has fallen into disrepair and had to be closed, especially the house. It's no longer structurally safe. So I don't know what the future has in store for Heritage Farm, but I would love to see Heritage Farm be preserved, as it's one of the last remaining examples of a very typical Western Reserve farm. And it's really important for us to preserve our history because it's from where we come from, and it's really important to remember, as you all know, because you're the Historic Society. But it's a great little location. I don't think it's open again this season because I don't believe they've had the repairs made.
Yeah, they said it wasn't safe to even go inside the house.
So this is from Valley City, Liverpool Township. This is the old Valley City depot that it was actually moved to this location. It's not its original location. The original location was located approximately 1.5 miles east from where it currently sits. And it was originally located on the CL&W line, the Cleveland, Loring, and Wheeling line, which later became part of the Baltimore and Ohio line, which is now owned by CSX. But the Valley City station was fully functional. It served the community until 1968, and now it was moved to its present location, I believe, in 1975, and it now is home to the Valley City Liverpool Township Historic Society. But they do have a steam locomotive on its property. That is me, my new friend.
So is that a sculpture?
It is, yes.
That's
I
interesting.
think it's supposed to be Abraham Lincoln, but it doesn't really look like
I'm
that.
quite sure.
I couldn't
Looks
tell,
like
and
it.
there's no marker.
But he doesn't seem tall enough. So.
But there is a fully restored steam engine that is located on the property. And I do believe they do open up for tours every few months on a select days. They do open it up for tours. I think the next time is sometime in July. They're going to be having tours. But it's a great little location. It's really cute, especially if you love trains, railroads. And I think they do open the depot up as well for tours. But it's, Valley City is a cute little town. Especially if you want to stop and grab a bite to eat, go see some frog jumping. It's a great place. And it is the 6th marker in Medina County. It's the newest marker in Medina County. And again, it's another double-sided, one for Liverpool and Valley City and the other for Liverpool Township.